looking at here today is a 52-inch polished brass Thomas Industries Hugger ceiling fan. This is a model T-12. It's a 3-speed fan, electrically reversible, dating back to sometime around 1982, maybe 1983. It's powered with a General Electric stack motor rated at 1 amp. The RPM rating is 225 RPM. Now, whether or not this was part of their British India collection that they offered back around 1980, 1981 is hard telling. There's a catalog floating around online from 1981 that shows a Hugger model being part of their British India collection, which was their standard line of fans that they offered when they first got into the ceiling fan game. But it looks quite different than this. It's got blade badges similar to Fasco, Parlor, and first gen Charleston's, and it had a die-cast flywheel. This one here in particular uses just an exposed rubber flywheel, and no blade badges. So it might be a later iteration. I really don't know, as a lot of documentation on these are pretty hard to find, to say the least. Thomas Industries in itself was a very obscure fan manufacturer of the early 80s. So, pretty interesting fan overall. Of course, Thomas uses a lot of parts that Fasco uses. I would say that they didn't take directly from Fasco, but they went to the same metal manufacturer for their housings as Fasco did, if I were to guess. So let's go and start it up. Start on low. Pretty quiet fan for a Hugger, no buzzes or hums or anything like that, which is always a plus. But low speed here is actually a little bit too fast for average. You'll think a fan like this will have more of an aesthetic low speeds, but in this case it doesn't. Take it up to medium. Almost like a medium high speed here. And here's high. Like I said before, the motor is rated at 225 RPM. I'd say that's just a rating with no load on it. I'd say we're probably doing around 210 RPM here. But this fan has a 15-degree blade pitch. The irons themselves are 15 degree, but the flywheel is actually designed to detune the pitch to around 13 degrees. So, being an overall 13-degree blade pitch, doing 210 RPM, for a Hugger fan, this is actually quite powerful. It's actually a really good air mover. Now with the open raftered ceiling in my test spot, it probably moves a little bit more air than it normally would on a finished drywall ceiling, but it's still a pretty good performer for a Hugger. It definitely outperforms the one behind it by a whole shot. And we'll go and watch it coast. The blades on the fan are like a dark walnut finish. They're the same finish on both sides. Before I forget. Yeah, Fasco never made a hugger fan that looked like this in the 80s. The only thing that only hugger fan that they put their name on was in the 90s when they outsourced to Halsey for their OEM for their more builder grade stuff. But Thomas was the only manufacturer to have a hugger fan like this. And that's that. So I thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed this video on this 52-inch polished brass Thomas Industries T-12 hugger ceiling fan from 1982. So we'll be seeing you next time.